All right, sorry, y'all. I popped on and popped off because I want to make sure that my microphone was connected. But I hope y'all doing all right today. This live transform your physical health live is a live where I invite you to ask your health and fitness questions. I'm a certified personal trainer and have been so since this will be 10 years since 2015. And I use my experience as a personal trainer as well as my experience with training my own self to help answer your health and fitness questions so you can accomplish your goals, so you can be the healthiest self you possibly can be. And I also talk about health and fitness that's up in the news and in studies and whatnot. And so a new study I came across actually led me to a study that I want to talk about. This is the kind of stuff I always want to talk about. So it's a study that was done, led by Dr. Dean Ornish. And now, if you kind of, been in the health and fitness for a while, um, then you likely heard of Dr. Dean Ornish. He's known a lot for, um, kind of like, studying how, like a plant-based diet can help to improve, you know, um, the health of people dealing with like heart problems, heart disease and stuff like that. And so I've been seeing his books on like bookshelves for many, many years now. But anyhow, last year a study was published that he led where they took a group of Alzheimer's patients. Of course, they had two groups. They had one group that just did, I think, just conventional kind of treatment where they used the whatever kind of drugs and whatnot. These were early stage Alzheimer's patients. Now, I'm have a link to the study so you can look at it yourself, so you're not just taking my word for it. But so one of this group they split. One group was just getting conventional treatment, whatever, the drugs and whatnot. The other group um was engaging in quote intensive lifestyle intervention. So they had to do certain kind of things to change their lifestyle. So it was typically, and I think the mean age was like 73 or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. But the patients and their spouses were to undergo the following intensive lifestyle changes. Well, first of all, they didn't take any of the drugs for Alzheimer's disease, none. They were to engage in, stress, quote, management techniques like meditation, deep breathing, and stretching and stuff like that for like 1 hour a day. Their diets had to be, and they were provided food too. So their diets were switched to whole food, minimally processed, and plant based. So plant based means pretty much, everything comes from plants. I think Dr. Dean Ornish is not total vegan. He's not an advocate of total vegan, but pretty much almost all plant based stuff and minimally processed. So I'm not talking about, plant based cookies and stuff like that. Um, Participants in this other group were to exercise 30 minutes a day aerobically, so like 30 minutes of walking a day, and they had to do at least three mild strength training sessions every week. Then they also had what's called group support, where they met with I think it was like a nurse or some sort of professional in like a group setting for support reasons. And then they also did use some supplementation as well, which included like omega 3s with curcumin, a multivitamin, multimineral, coenzyme Q10, vitamin C, vitamin B12, magnesium, something called lion's mane, which I've heard of, but I'm not very familiar with what that is, and a quality probiotic as well. So the people who were in the group that underwent intensive lifestyle intervention, 71% of them improved. They either improved or they didn't have experienced any change in their condition. 71%. It's amazing. And specifically, the way they improved is they significantly improved their cognition and their function. Um, and I saw a couple of news studies that referenced this study, and so they apparently must have talked to individuals who participated in the study, and individuals were like able to like I know one of them said that they felt like they were themselves again. They just kind of felt like they returned to themselves. Um, they were returning back to activities like reading, managing home finances, and things like that. Apparently, like with Alzheimer's, like a lot of people were kind of reading, but then they would like forget what they were reading about, and so reading wasn't really enjoyable anymore. But people were able to return back to reading, return to managing their home finances, and one person was talking about creating financial projections for their family. They're able to return to doing that. This is amazing. This is amazing. Now, and I'm always glad when I read things like this because a lot of times, it's to me it seems like most studies don't necessarily um see what happens when somebody is exposed to healthy lifestyle changes, things that your body needs anyway. So that's why I like that this study really attempted to see what would happen with early Alzheimer's patients who underwent intensive lifestyle intervention. Now, I really want to emphasize that phrase, intensive lifestyle intervention. Now, and I've kind of mentioned some stuff like this recently. A lot of times, y'all, when we are seeking to reach some fitness goal, some health goal, something like that, maybe even seek improvement in like some sort of health condition, we kind of like tiptoe with it. We don't really go all in. Like we don't do drastic change when we need to. We might, okay, well, I'm not going to eat dessert, um, but 5 nights a week instead of 7. Something like that. Now that's an improvement, but that's not intensive at all. And the reason I like that this study references intensive lifestyle intervention is because a lot of times if we really, really want to see change, especially as far as we are with our standard American diet, with our American lifestyle, we need intensive lifestyle modification if we're going to actually experience some level of change that is will possibly have you not having to take medication for different things anymore. Because that does happen. That happens. But a lot of times we're tiptoeing around things instead of really, really digging deep and making significant change. I think I'm gonna record a video that kind of talks about some of that stuff a little bit, but I won't give away what that is. It'll probably come out today. But anyhow, I just say all that to say intensive lifestyle intervention, drastically changing your diet to get all the junk out, all the processed food and all that stuff. Which y'all, I don't think we really understand how poorly we eat. Just think about it this way. And I'm kind of getting on the soapbox, but I'll refrain from going too long. Think about what it would be like if all of a sudden just like God just hit the delete button and then, you know, everything man made was just deleted in an instant. And all that was left was just like the earth in its purest form. And us too, all living things, but like the earth in its purest form. What would we have to eat? What we have to eat? We wouldn't have any of this stuff that we eat. Now, the thing is, we might panic about that because it's like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna eat. I don't know what I'm gonna eat. You know, because we're so used to eating most of what most of us eat is like man-made and processed. And I don't think that a lot of people really understand how bad that is. That's really bad. It's really bad. It's really bad. Most of I eat, you know, processed foods here and there. I try to minimize them, but I do eat them here and there. But my whole thing is like I really try not to eat those mostly. I try to have most of what I eat be real food, you know? And so I don't think we really understand how far off we are because we're eating mostly processed foods. But if you were to go to a 90% whole food, you know, largely plant-based diet, if you were to do some sort of calming meditative prayer practice an hour a day, if you were to exercise, 30 minutes to an hour every day, think about how much different that is from how your lifestyle may be now if you don't do any of these things. And think about the fact that all this stuff is what you need anyway. Then you would improve. But anyway, that's why I present this study, because I want to just kind of like demonstrate, well, not demonstrate, but I want to just kind of throw out there, put into your heart, put into your mind what's possible when you give your body what it needs. We don't need to underestimate what's possible. Okay. So I'm going to link to the study. It's up to you whether or not you want to go and look into it. I didn't make any of this stuff up. I'm not just throwing claims out there. I like to kind of read and see what science is kind of catching up to. Okay. As far as like what's possible when you actually take care of your body and give your body what it needs. Let me know what you guys think about this study with people like significantly improving with Alzheimer's and being able to live normal lives. Um, yeah, take care of yourself, y'all. Don't underestimate the power in actually giving your body what it needs. Y'all have a good day.